Hey there, I'm the Real Housewife of Snohomish County, and welcome to my garden. And welcome back to another episode of Real Housewives Kitchen Tips. Come with me while I get some herbs. Well, as you can see, my herb garden is kind of blown up with all of this heat. So I'm going to teach you how to chop and mince and do a chiffonade on some of these herbs. Let's grab a little bit of cilantro. Use a couple of these. Let's do some dill. Let's do a little bit of parsley. And I'll grab some rosemary. And then I'm going to go and grab some lettuce, and I'll meet you back in the kitchen. It is a warm day out there. I don't know if you can see, but I was practically glowing out there. So I got a few different herbs. I grabbed some parsley, which we use all the time. Cilantro, which is great for tacos and Mexican dishes, and other dishes, but that's what I mainly use them for. Got some rosemary, some dill, and even some lettuce. The lettuce will be easier to show you how to do like a chiffonade on. Well, let's go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to mince these up. You can either do a fine chop or a pretty rough chop on them. How to deal with parsley and cilantro, rosemary, how to peel it off, all that good stuff, and dill, so you don't have to pick off all the fronds. So come a little closer. I'm going to get my board ready, and let's get this started. It's really important that when you are cutting herbs, you use a very, very, very sharp knife. You don't want to bruise the herbs. You want to just cut right through them. So make sure to always have your knife sharpened, and then you're ready to go. So let's go ahead and do some cilantro first. I'm going to show you how to do a nice rough chop on this. If I'm not doing a lot of herbs, a lot of cilantro or whatever, I will pick off the leaves one by one. There you go. Now you could either start chopping like this, but the easiest way to do this is to gather them in a little tiny herb ball. This way you have control, and watch your fingers, but just chop right through. And that's a pretty rough chop there. Okay? So as you saw, I rolled it into a tight little ball, chopped this way, and then chopped this way. So that's cilantro, and that's a nice rough chop. Now if you're using a lot of herbs, let's say you have a lot of parsley, quick way is just to run your knife like that, and it kind of just shaves that off and leaves you with the stems like that. But same thing. Let's do a nice fine chop on these. Again, watch your fingers. Just every now and then kind of go like that, kind of mix them up. And you see how I'm keeping my left hand on the front side of the knife and using the shape of the knife to make a nice, even, rocking motion. And there you go. You have a nice, finely chopped herb. And dill. I love using dill. You can pick them frond by frond, or just like I did with the parsley, just shave off the fronds and get, most of the stems out. If you get some chunks like this, then just go in and pull that chunk of stem out. You can do the same thing. Ball it up. Now I have a recipe that calls for both of these. You can bunch everything up into a ball and chop it up all at the same time, or you can get it kind of into a rough chop there, add this to it, and mix it up like that. you have your herbs minced together there. Easiest way with rosemary is to grab it by the top end and going against the way the leaves are growing. Oh, this isn't as tough of a stem as I'd like. And it'll just peel it off of them. And then these top ones are usually pretty tender. You can usually leave the little stem on there. So again, grab it up close to the top and just slide your fingers down and they all come off. Now with rosemary you have to watch out because it kind of jumps around on the board. So I find that if you take your knife and lean it forward a little bit, it's not going to let it jump around as much and you're still going to be able to get that nice mince on it that way. You don't have it all over your kitchen or all over your floor. Now I grabbed some lettuce from our garden because it's much easier to use lettuce to show you how to do a chiffonade. I also do this whenever I make tacos because I like to do the lettuce like my grandma would do it, which isn't in big chunks on there because that just takes up too much room for me and I'd rather have more room for all the goodies. But a chiffonade is long ribbons. So you take it, you lay them all out, kind of like they would do with tobacco leaves, and then you just roll it. And I usually use the biggest leaf of whatever I have on the outside, and you roll it into like a cigar. And then you take your knife and make sure it's sharp, and then you just start, I usually cut off the tops like that, and then just start chopping them into whatever size you need. If you want larger ones, but usually a chiffonade is just a tiny ribbon. See? You have long, thin ribbons, all the same size, and look how much easier that is. And then usually for tacos with the lettuce, I'll kind of crunch it up. That's all there is to it. There you have it. I showed you how to mince and chop and do a chiffonade and take care of rosemary and all sorts of things. I hope you find this tip helpful and all the other tips that I've given you. So keep checking out my blog, www.rhosc.com, and hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And until next time, keep cooking.